Hello, and welcome to the Healthcare Leadership Insights podcast. My name is Elliot Sloan, a founder of the Macallan Group. Today, we are excited to have a wonderful guest, Asham Kaur, the CEO of Yuma Dentists and Norterra Dental Care. Asham, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. We know you're super busy managing 3 practices throughout Arizona. Again, thank you. We look forward to learning and hearing more about your experience with your new ventures.
Thank you, Elliot.
Yeah, my pleasure. Tell us a little bit about the practices you're building and the brands you're operating.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I want to start by saying thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk about what I and Dr. Mon have built. So my name is Asham Kaur. I'm the CEO of the Yuma Dentist and the Norterra Dentist. I own and manage 3 dental practices in Arizona. We started only 3 years ago, and within 3 years, we have expanded into 3 locations. Besides that, I'm also a mom of 2 beautiful, smart kids. I'm a very proud wife. I'm an entrepreneur, and I did my MBA in business administration. And I think that has really helped me to, be better at my current role. Last but not the least, I'm very passionate about tradition and culture. I take it very, very seriously because I strongly believe that having a great tradition and culture builds strong communities. So thank you so much for having me here today.
It's our pleasure. So talk to me about the leap from corporate America to joining forces with your husband to grow an amazing brand to service patients that need dental care.
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, I helped companies like Cheetah Mail, eBay, PayPal, Adtalem, meet their marketing goals in the past. I worked for them for about a total of 15 years in the corporate world. I loved my job. I loved what I did. And that was my career. I wanted to be the CEO of a company one day. My husband, being in the completely opposite field, in the medical field, he approached me one day and said, I want to start my own business. I do not want to work for someone else. And I cannot think of anybody else who would be the best partner with me besides you. I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure of leaving my own career path and starting something new. But I went back to my dream. I've always had the dream to own something and build it and run it myself and not work for someone else. Has always stuck with me. So I really grabbed the opportunity and I've never looked back. And we're just moving forward from there on.
For your husband, Dr. Mann, what caused him to take the leap into building his own practice? Was he with another practice that he wasn't happy with?
No, he's a visionary. He can imagine things. I'm a very practical person. He's very visionary. As soon as he graduated from dental school, that was the only thing he had in his mind. I want to own my own dental practice. I want to grow it to 5 or 10 different locations. He's very clear in what he wants. So he worked as an associate dentist for about 8 months. But those 8 months was literally just a waiting period for him because we were looking for that practice that we could buy and make our own. So those 8 months, like I said, he was working as an associate dentist, but at the same time, we were just really looking out there to see how we can get started in this field.
Makes sense. Now, what caused you to decide to look for practices you could acquire versus starting a brand, finding office space, leasing a space, starting marketing campaigns? I'm sure that was a discussion. Where do we start?
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, we were very clear in exactly what we wanted. We did a lot of research. I studied a lot. I followed a lot of people that work in the dental industry. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I spoke with a lot of people. So I gathered a lot of information and we sat down and we discussed, do we want to do a startup, which would be just, either renting or owning an office space and starting from scratch and opening the doors and waiting for patients to come? Or do we want to buy something that's already built and then take it to the next level? So at the time, we were more attracted towards acquiring a dental practice. And obviously, the Yuma dentist is 3 hours away from our residence. It was an intentional decision. It was not something that just fell into our lap. We intentionally were looking for something to buy in Yuma. And there were strong reasons behind that because we did not want to be in a space that is kind of saturated. Scottsdale is very saturated. We both come from California, and California is very saturated. He wanted to go more rural. Another reason for that would be to help the people that live there. If you ever go to Yuma, you will notice that there is 3 hours, there's really nothing. You go 3 hours to the north, you find Scottsdale, 3 hours to the south, you find San Diego. So there's really nothing, not a lot of help. So there were two motivating factors for us to go to Yuma.
Now, we all know healthcare is consolidating, practices are merging, hospital systems are acquiring, private equity is acquiring. What is the philosophy with, if you're looking to acquire a practice, for you guys at least, did you want to find a practice that needed a lot of work as far as dialing in the operation, the marketing, the billing, the collection, or did you want to find something that was a well-oiled machine?
It really depends on where you are at the moment when you're making a decision. There is no formula for it. It would only work for what you want to do at that point in time. So for example, I'll give you an example. When we bought the Yuma dentist, obviously it was a very first practice. We wanted to take calculated risks. So we said, yes, this is a good practice. It's making good money, and we know we can take it to the next level. And we grew it by 60% within 1 year. So we knew that, and it was already doing well, but we took it to the next level. Now, our third practice, if you compare it, it's in Phoenix. So we came back to the more saturated area, if you were to say that. But that is also a calculated risk that we took because if you look at the location where the Norterra dentist is, there's a lot of new construction that's going on around that shopping area where the office is. TSMC, which is a global semiconductor company, is building their plant 15 minutes away from this location. So when we bought this practice, it's definitely not something that's making a lot of money. There's a lot of room to grow in this practice. So our goal was very different. We're going to grow it. We know the growth is going to come in the future. Right now, we're going through a lot of growing pains. But that's, again, it's all a calculated risk. We know we will get there. But now we are in a position where we have capital, we have cash to invest, and we can, make this office a bigger space. I don't know what we will do for a fourth practice, but we always look at, it depends on the scenario and what you want at that point in time.
So let's talk a little bit about your philosophy for treating patients and providing high quality dental care. What do you think separates your practice from other practices in the area, or not even in the area, just in the industry?
So I think one thing that we have realized as business owners in the dental industry is that the dental landscape is changing very rapidly. So what's happening right now is a lot of DSOs are coming into the field, and the DSO is, dental organizations that are owned by corporates. They own 50, 100 locations. They're all over the US, and they work like a corporate.
The Aspen Dentals of the world.
Aspen Dentals of the world. Yes, absolutely. I do not want to talk negative about them because, they're also serving the community, and in no way that's not my motive to talk negative about them. But what I want to say is that they provide a different kind of service. And being a private dental owner, a private practice, meaning owned by a dentist, and you're working in that office, it's a very different kind of vibe. It's a very different service industry. The patients know you by your name. They will bring their family, they will bring their cousins and their other family members, maybe their kids. So what we do is we want to build a relationship with them for the next 20, 40 years. We're not here for 5 years, make the money and get out. That's the difference between a private practice and a DSO. So we are not planning to become a DSO, even if we expand for 5 or 6, whatever the plan is, we're not planning to become a DSO.
Goes to show that your philosophy is patient care always comes first. And and the business kind of comes second.
Yes, patient care comes first, absolutely, because you are in a business where you're, dealing with people's lives. It's not a joke. It's not just putting together a marketing plan and then, sending it out to the world. If it doesn't work, you go back to your director of marketing and you say, oh, well, I learned this from it. Maybe we'll do it differently next time. You can't say that in a dental office if somebody, is in a serious issue. So yes, I think every single patient is taken very seriously, even if they have a small dental issue, because things can change suddenly in that kind of environment. So yes.
So talking about marketing, let's discuss a little bit about what you've been doing on a digital marketing level or other advertising opportunities. What has been working and what maybe hasn't worked for you guys?
So what has been really working for us is having a social media presence, having a very good website, getting lots of reviews from the patients.
Sure.
The reviews are very important.
Are you using any tools to generate those reviews?
Yes, we're using Swell. We work with Swell. We also have Swell on our website. So if you go to the Yuma dentist, there is an icon on the homepage where you can click and speak to our team live, obviously 9 to 5. You can chat with them. You can ask them questions before you make an appointment or before you even come to the office. And you can kind of chat, text, if you don't want to pick up a phone call. A lot of people find that very comfortable than picking up a phone call. So we provide all of those services. We are very quick to answer, their queries. We have 4 people sitting at the front, and it's their top priority to make sure that we are responding to any emails, phone calls, voicemails, text message, or chats on the website. So I think having a social media presence is very important in these days. That is the marketing that works today. We have done some direct mail marketing. I don't think that it's that effective because I feel like it depends upon the demographics. We also do yellow pages in Yuma, and I was so surprised when I did that because in my career, I would never think of doing yellow pages, especially in 2022. But you have to do what the community and that demographic is expecting you to do. So a lot of people still open yellow pages in Yuma. So that's what we would do there.
Wow. My question is, do you think people were finding you on your online directory on Yellow Pages or actually in a physical Yellow Page book?
Physical Yellow Page book. And I was shocked when someone walked into my office one day and said, would you like to advertise in Yellow Pages? I literally laughed because like that happens still. So then what I did was, I didn't want to turn them back. And I said, well, you know what, let me get back to you. I went into our Dentrix software and I pulled a report where it told me how many people are referred through which channel. And we had $40,000 coming into the practice just from Yellow Pages. So, I was like, okay, let's do it.
Talk to me about video testimonials. Are you using video a lot in the practice? And if so, how?
Absolutely. So what we did was I revamped the Yuma dentist website. It looked very different when we had owned the practice. So I redesigned it, the whole look and feel, the content and everything. That's all me. I will take credit for that.
It looks great. Good work.
Thank you. And I'm in the process of doing the same thing for Norterra. So yes, if you go to our website, you will see video testimonials. And these are very candid testimonials. We are not feeding any content. So the patient is, saying what they feel like. And I think those are very important because they really relate to somebody who wants to watch those videos. We also have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook channel. We have an Instagram channel. And we talk about the team on those channels. So like I said, building a social media profile because it is so important. Everybody is online these days. And then taking pictures and sharing how the culture of your team, all of those things build your brand, but also build the culture of your office, and that attracts the patients.
A topic that is challenging for a lot of practices is what do we do after hours or on the weekends to stay engaged with inquiries that come through the website or phone calls that come in? What is your solution?
Yes, I have a good solution for that. I use Weave. So we have Weave where patients can text us. So if you call the office after hours and you want to test the system, in the voicemail, we say if this is an emergency, life-threatening emergency, obviously call 911 because we are not in the office at this time. If this is a dental emergency and you need assistance, you can text us and somebody will get back to you in the next 1 hour. And we stand by that. All of those text messages come to me and to my office managers. When we get a Weave text message, we respond within 1 hour and we tell them, what is your emergency? Let me get to the doctor and I will get back to you with a solution. And the doctors know that. All we have to do is text the doctor and say this patient is texting and they have a lot of pain or they're bleeding or whatever the problem is. And the doctor will text back the solution and we send that message to the patient.
Talk to me about training. How important and how often are you training your team?
It is absolutely important to train your team. I know a lot of people who don't think that training is important. It's a waste of time. In that time, you can see 2 patients and I don't know, you can make this much money. But trust me, if you can block 2 hours from your 8 hours and not see a patient and just have your team sit down and talk and go through training, it's much more profitable than not doing that. And I do that very often. Whenever I think there is a need for training, I schedule a training on the calendar. Doctor gets very happy. He gets his hour off. The team gets very happy. We order lunch and we all sit down in the front and we talk about things. That's besides having our monthly team meeting, which is different than training. Even right now, we just had a monthly team meeting a couple of days ago, and from that team meeting, 2 trainings came out. There are 2 things that people want to learn. So we've already scheduled those 2 trainings on the calendar. So training is very important because it gives a lot of empowerment and a lot of leadership to each individual team members. They feel good about it because they're learning new things. They feel empowered because they can make decisions now.
It sounds like you are taking the approach and philosophy of empowering your team to feel like a partner of the business and not an employee of the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I hire somebody, I always tell them that you are a leader in your position, whether you are a janitor, whether you are sitting at the front making appointments, whether you are an assistant, whether you are a dentist, or whether you're an office manager, you are a leader because there is so many things that you will do in your position to lead yourself and your team to the next step. So everybody understands that. And I think nobody had talked to them like this before, because you have to understand most of these people do not come with bachelor's or master's degrees, right? So they do not understand. And when you tell them that, they feel proud of themselves. They feel like they have a mission and they have a goal. Somebody's really taken them seriously. And I don't just say them, I mean it. When you give them that power, they will do wonders for you.
Asham, thank you so much for sharing all these insights and your experiences and everything that has been successful for you guys to grow so quickly, providing high-end dental care to patients in Arizona. We wish you the best as you continue to scale and grow your business, and we look forward to connecting with you again in the future. Take care now.
Perfect. Thank you so much and have a great day.